guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster, and I figured it was time we finished off our little guy from a branch. Now here he is, and as I said in the last episode, he's pretty basic. You know, you can go really detailed on these and keep them kind of in their natural form. Personally, I quite like to paint them. Here's just a quick example of one that I did a little while ago. And personally, I think that, you know, you can get away with a lot less detail if you're going to paint them. And that's certainly what I'm planning on showing you today. I've got a selection of acrylic paints here, a few brushes, and really I'm not going to bore you too much with this. I'm probably going to skip through most of this footage. But essentially, when you're coming to paint something like this, really what you need to do is kind of pick one colour and one area, so whether it's the head, the face, the clothing, paint all of that, get a covering, let it dry. That's the most important thing. So let it dry and then move on to your next ones. And once you've done all of the main colours, you can then come back with a finer brush and do a little bit of detail. So what I think I'm going to do, I'll move the camera around so you've got a bit of a better view. I'm just going to kind of skim through the footage, show you each bit as I do it, and I'll come back when this little guy's finished. Now, to start off with, guys, I like to do the face first with this kind of rather garish pinky flesh colour, and I've got a little bit of that just in this tray over here. And the reason I like to start with the face first is that you can kind of get it all completely covered, and then when you come later on to do things like the hair, if a little bit of it overlaps the skin tone colour, you know, that's absolutely fine. It kind of looks a bit more natural, whereas if you do it the other way around, you will find that the sort of skin overlaps the hair and it just looks really unnatural. So as I say, I'm not going to bore you with too much of this. I'm just going to kind of whiz through all of this and I'll show you each colour as it goes on. then guys, so we're nearly done, and my last little trick for you is putting the pupil into the eye. Now for that I normally just use a standard sewing needle, and whatever colour it is that you want. I'll give it a bit of a kind of a wiggle in there just to get some right on the end, and then you're trying to put this essentially right in the centre of the eye. Now this is going to be a bit awkward to do on camera, but I'll do my best. And you can make these big or small depending on your preference. Put a bit more on there, I think. Just try and get a bit more of this for you. A little bit better. And there we have it. So I'm going to let this little guy dry for a second, and I'll come back and show you the final piece. Right then guys, so we are done. This little guy has been drying out for probably about half an hour. I've literally just been sitting here watching paint dry, and I hope you will agree, you know, this little paint job, which is very crude, you know, I'm by no means an expert at this, but I think, you know, the paint really does make these little figures. I love this little kind of tree stump at the bottom that he's standing on that you get when you're carving from a branch, and you know, it's all a little bit kind of what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's all a bit rough and ready. You know, I like this kind of rustic look on here. And you know, that's the beauty of these kind of things, is that you can get away with a lot. It's not like spoon carving or bowls, or you know, something where you kind of need to be really precise. You know, of course you can be really detailed on this. Fine detail carving is not my forte, to be honest, nor is painting, as you can tell. You know, you've got the little dots for the eyes. I've put a bit of embellishment there on his shirt, which didn't come out brilliantly, but you know, at least from a distance, you know, it looks pretty good. If you start getting really close up, you can start seeing some of sort of the again, what's the word I'm looking, some of the imperfections, let's say. But you know, all in all, this was a really fun little carve. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it was a bit of a better series for you. You know, it's 4 episodes long, not the kind of 15 or however many one of these little guys took. But you know, this is the kind of thing you can do probably in the space of an afternoon. Obviously I've kind of stretched it out over 4 episodes just as time has allowed, but again, that's the other nice thing about these, is you can make a start on them, you can put them down whenever you like and come back to them when you've got time. So that's it for today guys. I hope it was useful. I hope you're kind of at least somewhat impressed with this little guy, and that it sort of spurs you on to give it a try yourself. Comments and questions in the box below. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I hope you'll all join me next time. Cheers guys.